Thank you.
You guys have taken different approaches over the years in terms of how goal setting and stating goals versus not stating goals. What kind of approach are you trying to take with this group as they head toward the season?
Well, that's always that lingering thing out there somewhere is the goals and how you're going to do, and certainly that the win-loss record and how you finish is something that you're always going to gauge your performance on and how you did. But we've kind of taken it back to just more of the process things. And all of us coaches sound cliche-ish, but we've established a pact that we call it to try to get personality and reinvest into the culture and the work ethic, and hopefully by doing so and what they did in the fall and building blocks they put in place there, and then of course Friday's starting the starting call for everybody out in the country. It's a common starting date that everybody believes they have a chance and they want to do the best they can, and we're looking forward to that start date and kind of reevaluate where we left off and the evaluation of the team and individuals, and get a good look at them to see how they did over the holidays. So that's probably a good gauge on how we're going to start, at least the work that they put in over the holidays when the coaches weren't around.
The past two seasons haven't ended the way that you guys had hoped. No postseason. Do you feel like this is a group that has something to prove this year?
Yeah, but we had something to prove last year and the year before as well. So hopefully that taste in our mouth and that disappointment when you wake up in the morning and you got the rigors of the challenges of the day and what you're going to put forth. We'll have a long memory about that, but we'll have a short memory as far as the losses are concerned, and hopefully go into the season with some confidence and believing that we're a contender, and day by day that'll reveal itself how we're doing in that aspect.
Coach, when you were able to sign that contract extension, what did that say about the university's support for you, and I guess just what was that like for you?
Well, I thought that all along. I was hoping, and the anniversary didn't happen, and the naysayers or people were out there, hey, when are you going to sign that? And I felt the support from them all along, just like in the previous 10 years I've been here, and they validated that with signing that on time. And I guess what I can do is my best ever effort, not that I haven't been trying hard for the previous 9 years, but to reward them and the institution for their trust in me. And nobody's more motivated than me to have a bounce back year off of the last 2 years, especially in what we've done, and try to create more of the momentum we had in the first 5 years, basically.
Mm-hmm. The attendance during the first 5 years, especially like postseason, fans were into it. How do you try to kind of recapture that and recapture maybe some fan energy into this stadium?
Well, the event management, we've done a lot with marketing in the event and try to make it a fan-friendly venue. I can't control the weather. Mother Nature's going to do that. And, certainly the warmer springs last year was not a very warm spring for everybody. And winning makes the rain not quite as bad and the temperature a little bit warmer. And hopefully we can create some excitement with the wins and the losses, and the style of play will be more of an exciting brand of baseball. And that's a good start. We've looked at other things on making ticket prices a little bit friendly, improve the food, all kinds of things that our administration's working hard to try to make it a better environment for our fans. And my job is to try to make the best team as possible, and that's what I can control.
You lose a guy like Petey, obviously hard to replace, but the way Mercer's developed, do you have confidence that you're going to be able to field a pretty good Friday night guy still?
Yeah, whether that's Mercer's not the only candidate. Yeah. We feel like Acuna's had a really good fall, and he's a year older, and our sophomore class in general, we feel very good about them. And Cole Stringer's been nothing but consistent. And so, we've got with Mercer the makings of possibly that could be our rotation, and we've got 4 freshmen that we're very high on that are going to log significant innings, whether it's in a starting role or a relief role, and then possibly looking at Kenyon and Nelson in the back end, and Parker Kelly's really had a good summer and a good fall, and so we look like we will be able to get off to a good start on the mound, and we've got some good young guys that we think will fill the gaps and get us to the back end of the bullpen. Now those roles could change. Kenyon could be a starter, and Nelly could be a starter, and So we're still trying to figure that out, and we're trying to prep them all for being able to get their arms ready to do either, and then see how everything maps itself out on what's best for the team.
What do you like about Acuna that keeps him in that conversation?
Well, he's throwing harder. You know, he's a thin kid, but you test him in the weights, and you know, pound for pound, he's one of our strongest core guys and leg drive guys, and that's showing up on the mound. He's throwing harder. He's touching 93 now, and that isn't everything. His command's better, and the depth in his change and breaking ball have really, really improved. So he's a three-pitch mix guy with command that's been able to add some velocity to his fastball.
Every offseason you take a look at things and see what you can do better, where you can improve. Were there a couple things you saw this offseason that you really wanted to emphasize with this team?
No, I think just get better in a lot of different areas. Play the game better. I mean, that sounds very simplistic, but as I've told you guys before, I didn't think our system was necessarily broken. We weren't able to get our guys, to the team and the players, to improve. We weren't making major overhauls. I think having the staff back together with Coach Dietrich for another year, our second year together, will help him. It'll help us, and hopefully our coaching staff will be stronger. And we tweaked some things here and there, but no major overhauls on the way we're teaching our guys or the way we're going about it. We've changed a little bit of the weight training initiative. We've talked a little bit more about instead of leadership, fellowship, which can be a lateral leadership situation where it doesn't have to be a set of guys or Coach Horton or the coaching staff, but we need enough guys, even on the flanks, to adhere to the pack and the mission that we have. So hopefully we can get some more guys to the front of that. Everybody talks about leadership, but I think not taking any small group or a certain person. Pat Flapp and Castor would be the obvious guys because they're seniors, and put that burden on them. I think it's all of our responsibility.
What do you have to get at the first practice on Friday?
Well, it's kind of a continuation. We've been with our guys for 2 hours a week. We'll be with them today for 30 minutes. We do that 4 times a week. And so now it's just an expansion and doing things together and sustaining their effort for a longer period of time, mentally and physically. So some of the young guys you see kind of melt when they're asked to extend the effort like that. You know, that's just a 3 hour and 20-minute period of time, where a real game, baseball game, by the time they get here and leave, it's probably more like 7 or 8 hours. So that'll be one of the challenges for our young guys.
You mentioned the freshmen in the staff. You feel confident about them. What about the freshmen at the plate in the field? Do you feel like they're going to have a big impact on this team as well?
Yeah, we've got 2 outfielders in particular, Johnny DeLuca and Evan Williams, that have said, hey, look at me, I'm a pretty good young player. And it looks like those 2 will really be fighting for starting positions out there, along with returning guys like Jeff Gold, Taylor Travis, and Jacob Goldfarb. I mean, I said Jeff Gold. We'd like to have him back.
He's like 40 now, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He still looks 12.
Where is Goldie at? It's been an interesting couple of years right
He's
now.
up in Portland.
Yeah.
And
No. So Goldfarb.
Oh, Goldie?
Yeah.
He's trying to be a catcher. You know, we're working him at the catching position. That's actually been a really good experiment. That's a position that we're not as deep as other positions, and I don't know if he'll be the everyday catcher. If not, he'll be one of the outfielders. And he's back healthy again. He plays the game awfully hard, so he's always got nicks here and there. And hopefully, he'll finally fulfill his potential. Going back to his freshman year, he made a big impact as a freshman, and then kind of had little things here and there that have kept him away from reaching his potential. But the one thing with Goldie that you get is he always plays the game extremely hard and aggressive and very confidently.
Coach, Petey was Oregon baseball last year for you guys. He was basically the identity of the program. Just what's it like with him not being around, and is there a new identity yet?
Well, we hope somebody fills his shoes. They're big shoes to fill, obviously, a big kid. And, Petey was a background guy when he was younger, and he didn't really emerge as that type of dominant pitcher, if you remember, until his junior year, when everything kind of became a perfect storm. Coach Dietrich's leadership, his experience in Team USA, and his work ethic and everything else. And so what you hope is those gradual increments of improvement that we saw with him, and then a big leap of improvement with him. We hope to see guys like Stringer and Mercer and Acuna to take those kind of leaps, and certainly Jovan's a Team USA type guy and had a huge year as a freshman, and he's not short on confidence, so hopefully he'll continue to improve like David did. And man, when you're good on the mound, like when we handed the ball to David, we were a lot better team than we were any other day of the week. So that's a big responsibility for starting pitchers to fill David's shoes, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a guy that strikes out 20 or strikes out 17. Starting pitcher's job is to keep us in the game, and our job is to find a way to win.
Is Kenyon a guy who you do see starting?
That's possible. We're kind of grooming him to do both. Certainly having that guy at the back end of the bullpen with the type of year he had last year would be a nice luxury if we can if we can get to him. You know, it doesn't do you any good to have this All-American closer if you can't create save opportunities for him. So we hope that we have the luxury of keeping him in the bullpen.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
Coach.
Thanks, Coach.